All of us began our journey in our home in the north, Scandinavia. Some of us sailed east to the untamed wilderness and her crazed inhabitants. The sons of Rurik took what they could and founded Holmgardr, adopting many of the native customs. Others sailed west to take the isles for themselves. The sons of Ragnar conquered and settled, with legends like Ivar the Boneless taking to the local customs, while Ubba the Dragon went one step further and even became a Christian, later killing his brother Halfdan in battle. Halfdan was one of the last true Sea Kings in the west. I was the other one. I am Hrolfr the Viking, or Radolf as my subjects call me today. I sailed from my home in Viking down to the lands of the Franks, and I conquered what they now call Normandy, land of the Norse. My land. I, however, had more restlessness in my heart than any of the other legends. Believe it or not, one day I woke up, and I was at the coast of the Mediterranean Sea. I had drunk a bit the day before, and I cannot explain how my army and myself got all the way down there without any boats. We had pillaged the lands of the Alumawi clan, and as the warm breeze touched my battle-hardened face, I felt a special desire for the first time. My home should not be Normandy. My home should be down here, in the south. We made our way back north, laying waste to the local countryside, of course. I heard then that some other Norsemen had settled in Miklagard, swearing fealty to the Emperor of the Romans, Vasilevs. What a silly name. And what a bunch of silly Norsemen, swearing fealty. Who were they, sons of Ubba? While I was pillaging the coast, slowly returning to my castle in Rouen, my son Dan claimed my attention and said, "Papa, je voudrais parler avec toi. J'adore la France. Nous devons devenir le roi de France, d'accord?" I looked down at him. My god, I hated Dan. Of course not back then, but still, my hatred surpasses time and space, I'm sure. What an idiot. I responded with "Quel idiot," and then it hit me. I was speaking French. I returned home from my trip in Iberia a changed man. How did the Mediterranean Sea do it, I wondered? How did it turn me French? Well, at least I kept many of my northern customs alive, which is more than most other conquerors can say of themselves. I also kept the faith in my heart, not bowing to the crucified God. My followers and I continued onwards home. Shocked by our French reality, we promptly showed the friends we made down south what our own culture was like. They surely enjoyed the honor of the sacrifice, although they did not reciprocate. None of them were willing to tell us where we could find the Blessed Virgin, and so I still seek her to this day. From here on out, our hearts and minds were restless, wondering about the Blessed Virgin, the Prophet, and wondering whether it was my cursed son Dan that made me French. It could have only been him. Who else? While we were out on a stroll in the Frankish countryside, I was challenged to a duel by a vagabond. I won, of course, and his band of lawless lowlifes became my band of lawless lowlifes. What a success story for all of us. It then occurred to me that somehow the Frankish crown did not look too kindly upon my lands, my people, and myself. While we were out enjoying our neighbors' hospitality, they attacked us for no good reason, claiming the lives of many of my men. It was then that I decided that I would not live any longer among this ruthless, cutthroat neighborhood, and so we slowly made plans to travel towards our proper future home, somewhere in the Mediterranean Sea. In the meantime, I heard the Anglo-Saxons destroyed any Norse resistance and founded Englaland, the dream of that dim-witted Alfred the Just. Not of any concern to me, of course, as I had decided that I would not seek their cold beaches. I must admit, however, that my Norman blood screamed for me to claim the English crown, but I resisted. Instead, I told everyone that would listen that we were to go south to warmer, richer shores. My followers were many, and after a bit of preparation, used to build the boats and weaponry required, we sailed south to take an island all for ourselves. Sicilia was our future, we decided, although the Aghlabid Sultanate disagreed with our choice. I don't know why they had to be so stubborn, but we quickly swept through the island's cities, welcomed and beloved by all. Sicilia fell, and I could finally leave France behind. I remember, it was at this moment that I began to hate my son Dan. I told him to go and achieve greatness, and he told me, "Je ne comprends pas, je suis français, quelle langue parlez-vous?" That little son of an ex. We won the war, and I handed my French belongings to my youngest sons so that they may stay true to our Norman heritage. My firstborn, Dan the Wicked, would live down in the south with me, since the laws of the ancestors sadly entitled him to my belongings. Now, what you must know is that I'm a quick learner. The one thing I learned from the French attempt to bully me was that if you move into a new neighborhood, you must establish dominance, or else expect people throwing rocks at you. Fair enough, I guess. So I looked west and east and saw the local powerhouse. The Roman Empire itself would have to face my wrath, so that it was clear that I was the new lord of this region. I declared my war, and quickly learned that the Romans had forgotten much about the art of war. They maintained a standing fleet and had grown so proud of it that they kept sailing up and down in front of my home shores, likely out of the desire to show it to us. The troops they left behind occasionally, I assume that they went overboard by accident, were quickly sent back to the sea. Wouldn't want them to get lost in my backyard, of course. The war was quite a simple one, although they took my castle and, woe is me, Dan the Wicked was killed by the Vasilevs Gabriel. What a shame. Oh, what a blunder. Poor Dan. That day I swore revenge, for I should have been the one that ended Dan, not the Vasilevs. The war was won, the Romans had been bullied, and I decided to issue a challenge for revenge against Gabriel. He was foolish enough to accept. I ended his life, and all of this caused the Magyars to migrate. I do not know why, but Odin's ways are inscrutable, or so they say. And this brings us to today. I had to find out that my second-born was even more Dan than Dan ever could have been, not just French, but also Christian. How horrible. I wondered today whether I should have gone for Sardinia instead. They seem to have more fun over there. However, pondering that is something I can do at the high table in Valhalla. Luckily, I will not have to say hello to Dan, or any of my other children over there. Sicilia became French, and the last of the Sea Kings is now gone. And so ends the story of Hrolfr and the story that we share with him. Now, we shall move on to a different character, I think tomorrow or the day after. I'm not quite sure when I can fit in the next video yet, but I want you to know that this was a very different video from what I do normally. Again, even more different from what we did yesterday. Just let me know what you think about it. I'm very open to everything. This is a phase of experimentation. I'm very excited to try all of these different attempts, but you know what I'm even more excited about? I'm even more excited about to tell you about two things. The first thing is that this was essentially a comedic entry for an after action report video. This contest is still running, the Crusader Kings 2 contest, where you can, you know, sort of tell your stories, be it in text form, in comic form, or in video form, is still going. If you want a free copy of CK3, and if you want to make me proud, a boomer that loves after action reports, then check out the link in the description that tells you exactly what you need to do. If you participate in that, there's a chance that you win a free copy of CK3. Now, with that being said, the second thing that I enjoy even more is telling you about the members of the channel that are making videos such as this one possible, that are making this phase of experimentation possible. Namely the Barons, Achilles, Know-How, Charlie, Eterna, Falling Phoenix, Rex Romanorum, Jacob, the Murcielago, I can't read, Dan, Florian, MFA, Mitchell, Aaron, Stefan, and Snywolf. And of course also the Counts, Lachlan, Kazen, Wombat, Thomas, and Shifty. And last but not least, the absolutely beautiful Dukes, Eric, Kiriana, Goodfield, Nathan, Jack, Kenneth, Evil Duck, and Lex. So thank you all for supporting the channel, and I will see all of you later. Alligator.